Hi everyone, I'm going to explain the math behind this function here because they skipped a bunch of steps, so I want to just go through all the steps in detail and not skip any steps. This is Udacity 188 less than 2.23b, gradient descent still. Okay, so let me go to my paper because it shows it in all of the steps in great detail. So here is this sigmoid function is equal to 1 over 1 plus e to the minus x. We want to take the derivative, so sigmoid prime x is the notation for the derivative with respect to x. d dx, this expression in the parentheses, we want to get the derivative of this, we first of all show this in this form. So multiplying by power of negative 1 is basically reciprocal, 1 over 1 plus e to the minus x. So this denominator is basically, instead of showing it 1 over this denominator, we can just show this denominator to the power of negative 1. Because that makes it easier to take the derivative, because the derivative, if we remember from high school, you take this and you multiply by this. So it's negative 1. So this is going to be negative here. And then you decrease this by 1. Decreasing minus 1 by 1 is negative 2. But then whatever this is, you need to take that derivative with respect to x. So derivative of this with respect to x, 1 is a constant, so there's 0. So we're just basically taking the derivative of e to the minus x. So the derivative of e to the minus x is, you're going to do the same thing. It's going to be this negative multiplied by whatever is here, which is nothing, so it's going to be negative here, e to the minus x. So this whole right-hand side is going to be in this form. So you're going to see that this minus and this minus are going to cancel, and you're going to left with this on top, e to the minus x on top, and this expression is to the minus 2, so it's basically to the plus 2 at the bottom. 1 plus e to the minus x over 2. We need to simplify this, or put it in a form that we can put it in terms of sigmoid. So we separate this way. The denominator is the same, but we separate e to the minus x on the right hand side times 1. That way we have the sigmoid on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we gotta manipulate that a little bit to get a sigmoid there also. So we add and subtract 1. So we add 1 to the beginning and subtract 1 at the end to get 1 plus e to the minus x minus 1 on the numerator. So now you see the right hand side here is another sigmoid. The left hand side, you see, is 1. You got the same thing on top and bottom, so it's 1. So that proves that the derivative of this sigmoid is equal to itself times 1 minus itself. QED, thus it is shown.